I became involved in CREATE because I sit on the state stakeholders down in Madison for DPI. One of the things we talked about was disproportionality, and originally CREATE came from disproportionality. I started taking more of an active role thanks to the facets being able to give me the leeway to do it, and now I bring the message to the tribes right now. One of the things that really made me want to get involved in this is because I see the kids being able to orally tell me things that really bothered them in school, that they felt discrimination, they felt that they were being identified in things that they shouldn't be. And we notice the identification. I mean, I sit on the stakeholders and I see all the disproportionate districts throughout the state and the ones that affect the Native tribes. But Facets tries to open that communication. We try to empower parents and families to be able to speak to school districts, to DPI and stuff. And respect is a word that kids always tell me about when I go visit them. They'll say, they just don't respect me. And I say, well, what do you mean by respect? That's the question I ask kids. And I think that's where CREATE has done, is the fact is they understand respect goes both ways. You want to be respected as a teacher, as an administrator, as a school person, you have to show respect back. For years there was always an assumption of doing things, and now with this initiative they've taken the fact of finding out the facts and figures instead of guessing. Now it's more, and I feel like I'm the bridge to the tribes, and the fact that if they need to get to the tribes, I can be the person to go, because the trust issue has always been an issue with the tribes. And I think that me endorsing some of the things that are going on with the initiative, the tribes are more acceptable to it and they're more open to receiving it too. So many of our kids are identified in emotional and behavioral, whereas it's part of who we are, because our kids run all summer and run outside, do everything, and you tell them they have to sit in a room for 6 hours a day in a classroom and not move anywhere. That's hard for them to sit still. And so when they don't and they're antsy and everything, they're labeled as behavioral. Just like the fact is that most Native kids will not look at you when they speak to you, and because you're told to speak only when you're spoken to. That's just part of who you are. Grandmothers and grandfathers control the family. The parents might say yes to something from the school, but if grandma and grandma say no, then they change their mind and come back. In our languages, all Native languages, no matter where you go in this country, there's no such word as disability. There's no such thing, and they think of it as a negative tone because of the fact that if someone needs to be read something twice, you just read it to them twice. And I want to be able to say, when a child goes to school, I don't need to know what their nationality is, I just want to know their name. I want to know who they are, what they do.